Will Putin go nuclear?
Это не блеф. Это не блеф. Это не блеф.
Putin is losing ground, and he mistakenly thinks that nuclear weapon can help him. Nuclear weapon would kill many innocent people, but it would put an end to Putin too. Yes, Putin is cornered, and he threatens to commit this kind of suicide. Those who dig an evil hole will fall into it. But is Putin even able to launch a nuclear weapon, knowing that there will be an immediate and severe response? Well, if Putin's situation becomes this bad, then he can reckon that he has nothing to lose. It is not clear where the red line is in Putin's understanding. Putin has done so many evil things to the world and to his own country that it is easy to believe that he is able of doing the next evil thing. When dealing with evil, expect evil. It is unbelievable that one single person can cause so much trouble to the whole world. Well, everyone has their own talent. He is good at what he is doing. We should keep in mind that even though Putin is a tyrant, he often behaves like a child. For example, he treats technical equipment like toys. Maybe his parents were indulging him too much, never saying no to little Vladimir. His parents might have spoiled him. Now, as an adult, Putin likes to drive trucks, and who knows whether he has a license for that. He also likes to operate harvesting machines. Putin plays hockey in the Red Square by the St. Basil's Cathedral. And now it turns out that Putin likes to play war games, but he plays them with a real army and real weapons, not with toy ones. What if Putin treats a nuclear weapon as a large toy to play with? As a terrorist, Putin only respects power and only yields to power. He seems not to know what goodwill is. As a bandit, he is weighing the strength of the enemy at all times, and he is comparing it with his strength to determine who is stronger at the moment and who is going to win at this particular stage. This is how, most likely, his mind works. He considers all the West his enemy, but he miscalculates and underestimates the strength of the West. He must be very poorly informed on what is going on in the world. This is no wonder, considering that Putin does not use the internet, and he receives all the information on paper in some kind of folders that his assistants provide him with. But he reportedly has reduced the number of informants or advisors to a few lately. Putin is a despot, a tyrant, and it is very likely that his assistants provide him with false information to avoid Putin's wrath. Remember, those whom Putin considers not loyal often end up whether shot in the street, or poisoned to death, or thrown out of a window. This is why those helpers who are close to Putin are very careful with presenting him news that he may consider bad ones. They add some sugar to the reports, and as he swallows them, he gets satisfied with both the news and the informants, and of course with the sugar. But then he makes another miscalculation, and his helpers are hiding the consequences of it again and again. This process is going on and on, year after year, and finally Putin has become immersed into tons of lies. He has surrounded himself with liars. This is how he lost touch with reality. It is his tragedy, but he, and only he himself, is responsible for having been placed into that system of lies, because he invented this system himself, and he built it, and he placed himself into it. Nobody forced him. This would have remained the Putin's tragedy and the tragedy of Russian people If Putin had not taken upon himself the responsibility of running the international affairs as well as the national ones, there in the international arena, Putin has faced a different situation. His foreign opponents do not lie to him. They do not coat the news with sugar. Putin all of a sudden has faced the reality, and the reality turned out to be very bad for him. He found out that all the world is against him. Putin is confident that all the world is bad, and only him, Putin, is good. They are all enemies of Putin and Russia. He is outnumbered, and this is why he has a fiasco after a fiasco. Not because he's wrong, and not because he miscalculates. No, Putin is sure that his calculations are always correct, and so his advisors say. The problem, Putin thinks, is not in himself, and not in Russia. The problem sits abroad. The problem is in the West. The West is mean, Putin thinks. There in the West, they are obsessed with the idea of damaging Russia. He who does evil expects evil. In one of the future videos we'll cover some of the origins of Putin's miscalculations. Is Putin's threat to use nuclear weapons a credible one? Yes, it is. The fact that Putin has a reputation for ruthlessness and irrationality makes this threat even more credible.